All right, good evening and welcome to another day of the E-Meet Your Design and Fashion School series, where you get to interact with the top management of each school, keep your options open to private design and fashion schools, and save money by applying only to a few schools of your choice and not all the schools around, right? So in case you missed the webinar that says Design and Fashion Schools to Consider in 2023, please click on this link and you will get it. I'll share it in the chat box. Also, for those of you who are looking to create your portfolios, please click on this link. I'll share it again in the chat box. Today, we're meeting with Ajinkya DY Patil University. It's a private university belonging to the DY Patil Group of institutions. We are meeting with Professor Nallur Chandra Prasad, who's the head of design, and he's an associate professor at ADYPU. So Professor Chandra Prasad has pursued his dream of becoming an automotive designer by taking up a bachelor's course in transportation design offered at Instituto Europeo di Design, or IED. It's one of the premier design schools in the world, located at Turin, Italy. During his college years, he won prestigious design projects sponsored by Azimuth Yachts and Aston Martin. Though he was inundated with offers from internationally renowned automobile companies, his passion lies with pedagogy. His core interest areas include conceptualization, freehand and digital sketching and rendering, automobile design history, aesthetics, and future mobility solutions. He's been guiding students in design projects since he joined college as a full-time faculty in 2010. Along with other senior faculty members, he has been instrumental in establishing the automobile discipline at ADYPU. For those of you who want to watch this again, this webinar is available on YouTube. And for those of you who would like to find more information about ADYPU, you can go on to DQ Edge. The school is listed there, and you can also apply to ADYPU, right? The information link. I will share this with you and you can take it from there. Right, now back to Professor Chandra Prasad. Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Hi, good evening, Tiana. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Glad to have you here.
Same here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, that's a pleasure. Please go ahead and so we have people watching here and on YouTube. So we'll moderate questions in and you can take it away from here.
All right, sure. So I think I'll start with the presentation. Maybe I'll give a little bit idea about, though you gave us a short introduction about the university. So I think I'll take everyone through who we are basically, and as a university, what we do. So and I hope I will make it quick and not make it boring. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
Right. I hope my screen is visible.
It is visible. You can put it on presentation.
Right. So I think we'll start with a story, right? Every institution or whatever, there should be a story, and this is our story. So it started in 2010 BC. So for the uninitiated, BC is for before COVID. We started as DYPDC. So some of you might have heard of this name, DYPDC. That's how we were. That was our name earlier, DYPDC, Center for Automotive Research and Studies. So we started as an institute very much core into automotive design. That was our area of expertise, and that has been our flagship for many years. And it started and it was inaugurated by this gentleman. I think almost everybody knows him. right? And we have been very much lucky enough. It happened in 2010 at the Delhi Auto Expo. It's been inaugurated by Mr. Ratan Tata himself. And this is where we began. So this has been our institute in 2010. It was a very humble beginning, and that time we only we decided, like, that has been our core principle also, where we started only with one design discipline. Like I said, it has been the transportation design is where we started, and we concentrated on that. Then fast forward from 2010 BC to 2015 BC, we became a university. So right now, that is a name, Ajinkya, like as you mentioned already, Ajinkya DY Patil University. So we are under a university, and UGC approved course is what we offer also. And so earlier it was a certification till 2015, since it wasn't under any government body. Now it's a central government recognized university. So what we offer is a degree program. And along with that, so from there, we shed our DYP School of Design as an institute to under the university. Now we are known as Ajinkya DY Patil University School of Design. In fact, under the university, we are a total of 7 schools, and School of Design is one among them. I'll go directly to the programs what we offer at the moment. So fashion design. Fashion design is something, so I think I'll have to go a little bit back and forth in this. So like I said, when we started, we were only automotive. And one of the principles is, like, once we understand, okay, once we develop one program and we look at, like, what are the areas, the upcoming areas. And that is how we have developed. Right now, we offer BDes as well as MDes program. And under BDes, we have 4 disciplines. And the 4 disciplines are transportation, product, visual communication, and fashion design. So transportation, like I said, it's been our flagship. So we have a strong foothold on that. And after that, in 2016 is when we started. Then we started with our product design program. So once we understood, like, got a foothold on product, in 2018 we started the visual communication, and in 2020 is when we started the fashion. So we did generally we don't start something simultaneously or in one go. We want to make sure whatever we start, we give the best. So we take our, like, kind of a sweet time, and that's how we develop the courses. So fashion is our very, like, a youngest program, which we have started in 2020. I wouldn't say the best year to start anything, actually, unfortunately, like we all know. Then the visual communication. So all the BDes courses are 4 years we offer, and first year being the foundation, and the next 3 years is the core discipline. Is how it happens. And we also have the one of the reasons also in the foundation where the students get to choose sometimes when someone joins, and we have had that kind of an experience before as well, where students join maybe thinking, like, I want to be a product designer, and maybe after first year of study they feel like, maybe I think I have more skills to be in a visual communication or a graphic, for example. So we do have that kind of flexibility, especially after the foundation. Second year onwards, students can still make a choice and move to a different stream of their choice. Also, we are, as a university, even offer a lateral entry also from second year onwards. So considering most of the design college have a structure where it is a foundation is what everybody will have more or less, regardless of whatever discipline you follow. So these are the programs we have. And in MDes we have transportation design, and it's a 2-year program. Apart from that, we have a postgraduate diploma program, which we offer. It's a 1-year full-time digital modeling. So this is an area where there's a lot, it's a very upcoming, and I would say it's in trend actually. There's a lot of requirement in the industry for visualization designers. So this is mainly aimed at those people and who are already graduated and would like to make a move maybe to an industry which they feel like, okay, I'm really more suited and wants to make a change. This is mainly aimed at those people, and some of them who feel like I am good at digital or like a visualization or digital modeler, and this is basically for them or aimed at it. Like I said, we understand like what are the requirements, and that is how we do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm already attending it.
Yeah. So the BDS and MDS UI UX is the area which, again, it's a very upcoming and it's already in demand area. And that is one area we also would like to. So we didn't have an in-house ability right now. So that is in a development stage, but we wanted to offer it. We need to understand. So what we know is we do have a BDS and MDS program, which we offer at the moment. And it is in collaboration with Imagine XP. So Imagine XP are the how that collaboration works is they follow our structure in terms of we have a credit system. So they follow the university credit system. Only thing, it will be taken by the professionals from Imagine XP. That is how it's been done. Now come to, after talking about the programs, definitely we like to why, right, like any other college. This is also another design college could be, right? But why we need to, or why anybody want to choose us, ADYPU? So I thought I will take you through like maybe 5 awesome reasons is what I would say, right? So the reason one, definitely foundation, we need the right set of people for anything, regardless of teaching or be it any institution. The core is the people, the right set of people are the foundation for anything. And definitely in this case, actually being a university, faculties are the main foundation. So we have a very strong 20 plus members, core members, who are the faculty members actually, who comes from very themselves are like graduates and postgraduates from reputed design institutions from all over the world and have a vast experience working in industry. And design as such, even by the discipline by nature, is of continuous practice. So though they are full-time, and we still, a lot of them still practice as well along with teaching. So to make sure also that helps us, one, improve the curriculum on the go, and in touch with what is happening with the industry, so that we can include that at the earliest possible in the curriculum, so the student who graduate doesn't feel really out of place. So they are really in touch with what is happening. So that is such a practice oriented kind of work as generally happens. Also, we have a strong visiting faculties. So design, again, as a discipline, it's just doesn't concentrate onto one area. It has to as open as it is, and it needs to have the more information as we come. It's a global scenario right now, especially right now it's in a global world. So we're not talking about any particular countries. So to do that, we definitely have visiting faculties who come, who are practitioners in different areas of design from different parts of the world. Also academicians from other universities or famous universities also visit. And it's on a regular basis. They come every year. And some of them spend and take certain modules. Complete modules are done by the visiting faculties. So I'll be just taking through, I will not take a lot of time. I'll be like going through a few of the images. Then comes the reason number 2 is definitely the campus. And for a change, I would like to say that I'm not going to show a lot of the pictures about how the building is and what it looks like. And I think that has been, everyone knows, they go to the website, see it. These days, there is a lot of images available. When I talk about the campus, I feel especially to a creative field like design, it's a lot to do, not necessarily about the buildings also. It's about the place where you are. I'm not talking about the city. Actually, city as such, Pune is pretty good. Definitely everyone is, I think a lot of them must be already aware of something. But here I'll be taking through where our campus is located, actually. So these are the few of the photographs I've taken around. That's one of the areas which I really like, actually. I like to see the nature, and taken during different seasons around the campus. And we've been lucky enough to have a very beautiful area. Actually, the whole campus is in 110 acres of land. And right now we are, I think, around 30-35 acres of space is only utilized, and the rest of the thing is within the campus. We have 2 small lakes as well. So we feel actually being in a good environment is also very important, actually. And these days, that is something which we, I think, generally miss, actually, right? A good air and a good freshness. So though we are in situation in Pune city, we are a little away from the city center per se. but it is still not very far as well. I think within 10 kilometers actually. But even with that, like I said, since the area is too big, it is kind of a different world altogether, the campus itself. And yeah, sometimes visiting, especially during the monsoon, I would say it is like visiting a resort for a place. So that is something which we really enjoy. Of course, the core of any or the soul of any university is its students, and we had really felt it, especially in the last 2 years when that is something which has been missing. And like I said, the student life at the end of the day, being like, of course, during the student years also, I remember actually how nice it is to be with or being the university. That university life is something which I think every student also feels, right? That is something, a memory which you keep forever. So the student life in the university is, I think it should be cool. It's nice. And always wear your seatbelt while driving is the message, basically, would like to share. So here, definitely, there is the freedom for the students, actually. And we believe like you need to enjoy, you need to have fun for what you're doing. And that is what is being like, I think, the reflection. Also, the students get a lot to attend events. This is from an event which we hosted. AGI is an association of the graphic designers in the world. And this is the first time that happened in India. And the university, as a university, we were the host, actually. And the students can be, generally, we get to part of such events as well. Another important is scholarship. So if we do have a scholarship, I think maybe later also in the discussion, I can expand on this, actually, what kind of scholarship and how it works, actually. But to give an idea, we do have a scholarship program. Actually, depending upon the performance of the students, we definitely feel like it has to be compensated for their hard work. So there is a scholarship program. And I will, like I said, I'll explain to you in detail if anybody is interested. And the reason number 5 would be exchange program. Like I said, so it's very important. We are living in a global world, so we need to know what is happening around the world. What are the kind of new things which is happening, new ways of learning things, and so we believe in it. And for that reason, we have a lot of tie-up with universities. Actually, these are the 4 universities as of now we are tied up with, and we had some sort of an exchange which has happened. And it keeps improving, actually. We are expanding the list as well. We try to understand whether the credit matching happens, because we don't just go ahead and do any collaboration unless we feel like, okay, there is a genuine sense where there is a takeaway for both the universities. And this is from the recent, actually, this was just before the COVID times. Actually, the students had gone to Korea, and along with a semester. So generally it happens a semester or a year exchange. Apart from that, also there is a 2-week cultural exchange also happens with all these universities, where the students get to, some of them not necessarily want to go for a semester, but they can attend a cultural exchange where they get to get an idea about what happens, what are the food habits, basically, right? What is the culture of the place? So that kind of programs happens. Another strong area, I would say, reason number 6. Okay, so I think some of you might be thinking you said 5 awesome reasons. So while putting it down, I realized actually it doesn't stop at 5 for us. So we have more reasons. So 6th would be the student-faculty ratio, which is something which we really stick to, is 1:10. The reason being, design, I suppose, or as a discipline, every individual or every individual student has a different talent, actually, right? So it's not the same. Everybody not will have the same kind of skills, basically, or even the creativity. So it's very important to address it individually, and from that belief is where we start, like anything beyond. So one faculty, at least for 10 students, is in an ideal where each student get the required attention so that all of them can develop. As competitive as a field as design, the quality is something which is very important. So unless it has been addressed, I think it becomes very difficult to then later on in a stage where to find the right career move or to make a career move, actually. So this is something which we maintain always. Next comes, of course, the internships and placements. like in any design school. So everyone knows about the importance of internships and why it has to be done. So we do have a placement cell actually who works. There's a placement officer who works to find and brings in the or gets in touch with the industry. So it is not like we just keep on sending any portfolio or something. There are sessions which is being conducted. We'll have experts from the industry comes and take sessions on how to make portfolio. What are the expectations as even the company when they are looking for a portfolio from the student. So those kind of sessions are conducted so that students are always trained and they know what exactly what they want in the first place, then how to achieve it. And generally at the end of third year in the BDAs actually during their vacations is one time where they can go for internships. And even in the final year, which is the fourth year and the 8th semester, we generally recommend an internship for the students. And after students, even after so during internship also, there will be an assistance from within the college. There is a placement officer who will help. Even after that as well, they will be there. And we extend the placement services for a student, for a graduate, even after graduation for the next 2 years as well. These are the few companies where the students are currently working. There are more, so I thought but to fit it in the page, I just skipped a little bit. Like it's something which I had already mentioned earlier. Consultancy projects is like as a design, the practice is very important. Right, we have to be in touch. So as a university, we take up consultancy projects where the students and faculties work together, basically. Depending upon the area of interest of the students, some of the students get selected after one round of review, basically, and depending on what type of project it is about. This I'll just quickly take. This is one of the project which was done for the BBC Top Gear. I think I hope must be familiar with Top Gear as a show. Basically, it is aired in BBC. So there was an ad, previous ad of Future 208, actually, when they launched a few years ago, and there is still a move where the Future might be entering Indian market. So they wanted to recreate that ad. So this is based on an ambassador, and which has been done. So they had given the work to the university actually. So we had taken up this project and had done it. Maybe after this presentation, I think I can share maybe the link. It's on YouTube. Both the ads, the earlier ad as well as like the recreated ad. So you can see it. So it was done in our university. Then there are other startups basically in the electric, which is quite a lot these days. And since in the a lot of them are their initial stages, they do not have any design center per se. So a lot of we get a lot of projects from the electric startups these days in terms of for designing the vehicle. And this is one such project which we did for a company called Google Electric. It is based out of Coimbatore. It is an electric adventure e-bike, basically. So something different from the normal commuter scooters, which you see, that is their idea. So this is the brief which they gave. And these are some of the ideation, but these are towards the final. Okay, there are a lot more sketches which goes behind it, a lot of thinking and this thing. But this is a part of the presentation, so like of course I shortened it. And these are the different, like the development stages. You have the package from the ideation, how to bring it into life, actually. Then you have to look at each elements, right? If you look at even the dashboard these days, it's a lot of connectivity works, and it has to be treated as a separate product by itself. So, and there is a lot of interaction goes. UI, UX is also part of it. Only thing here, it is more related to automotive. Then definitely you need to see the prototype. Actually, the investors need to see how it will look in real life. So these are the different prototyping phases. And this was the final prototype which has been made actually on a vehicle. Then design competitions. So that is one area again which we ensure we participate as a university, because it gives us a feedback directly where we stand among the peers and even maybe in the world scenario actually, and which are the areas we will need to develop. The same thing goes for the student also. It's a very good area where they also understand where I stand and where are the areas where I need to improve. So part of the curriculum, we always include certain design projects as a design competitions. And fortunately enough, we have been lucky. Actually, the students have won actually quite a bit of awards. This is from 2019-20 in the SIAM Design Award. SIAM is the Society of Indian Automotive Association of Indian Automotive Manufacturers. So they conduct ADC, basically the Automotive Design Challenge. And that year, 4 of our students made it to the final 10, and first and third prize has been won by them. So these are the few of the projects actually in there. And this is from the year before, actually, when we won the third prize in 2019. Then we did, there was some project with TVS had a competition for Apache, and it's mainly for the graphic. And so our students had won. This is from a very recently, the last year, actually, quite a proud moment even for the university is the students were selected by the railway coach factory. They did an internship. It was an internship, and it's for a UNESCO heritage site, Kalka Shimla. So I think everyone must be aware of the Vista Dome coaches, right? So this is a Vista Dome coach, basically, which our students have designed. This is a mock-up from the Delhi. They had presented, actually, there was a railway coach international exhibition was happening, international railway exhibition. It is from there. So their coach was selected by the central government also, and now it is in production. I think next month or so they will have the first trial run, right? And this is the build-up. Actually, the then minister had posted the tweet actually with the body, actually the work. So this is something which we are really looking forward to see how it is on when it starts rolling. Also, this is also another proud moment for one of our alumni, actually. So there are a few of them has taken the entrepreneurship way, actually has started their own. So this is one from one of our initial batches, the student Anup Nishant. He started his own firm called the Tronics, and this is the first offering from the first product from the company, actually, and they have won a good design award for that. Next is the curriculum. So being all said, how to deliver all this comes into the curriculum part. Again, and it's like repeating again and again, it's a design being you have to learn by doing it. It's an experiential learning. So we have a studio format. I think every design school also generally have a studio format where you have the knowledge and the skills which is put together in a studio way, where you are given the brief and you execute the project. But to do that, you definitely need the set of skills. When I say the skill, it is the sketching, rendering, right? These are the skills, and the knowledge is about what kind of research, what are the areas, how do you understand those things? So these are the knowledge and skills combined and happens in the studio format. So to do that, this is we call it salsa, just to make it sound like cool, right? It's a design college. So we call it a salsa approach. Basically, the curriculum is, of course, a student-centric curriculum. We identify what kind of backgrounds generally students come from, actually, right after school, and the design learning has a gap. It's a sudden shift, actually. The approach of learning itself changes. Here, we don't have maybe a set of books or a set of chapters where you can by heart it. So the learning itself is different. So we understand that, and that is how the curriculum has been made. Like I said, the foundation here, it's also a lot about learning and unlearning a lot more. Okay, that has happened, and this is the approach what we generally have to do when we develop. Now I'll quickly run you through some of the student works. So it's a mix, okay? It's a mix of all the disciplines I have put together. At any point, anybody wants to know or anything, feel free. So like a form exploration exercises.
Chandra Prasad, maybe if you can probably take one of these examples.
Right,
and
sure.
Explain what exactly we're seeing.
Okay, so maybe this is like it's written, right? It's like about a form exploration, how you take some inspiration from nature, understand, right? So first, initially start with sketching it, understanding the insect per se, basically how a wasp is, what are the characteristics, how the movement is, right? And trying to understand and taking that form or maybe that as an inspiration Okay, this generally happens in the first and second year of the courses where the such an idea happens, basically. And then trying to make a product, basically. Sometimes there is no reasoning. It is, this exercises could be like how to take an inspiration and how to develop into a product. Then use the skill. So like I said, this is a skill where you can see the sketching. And it's about understanding of the knowledge part is where how you translate into an object, basically. So this is a small example for that. And even the previous examples, so like quickly I can maybe go through. This is something like an existing product, right? There is a the general cutter actually. So here the study is like, how does it happen? How do you hold generally? What are the areas? How can you improve it? And so this is the learning has been done. And then the ideation, these are the ideation phase where the student has ideated from different ideas, like how to make it a better one, actually. And these are the general final design, and you can see the dimensions, the blueprint, and how it is used. And this is the final thing. And they have added few things how to make it a better product, basically an existing product. Take it, learn it, observe from observation, and make a better product. So this is one of those exercises.
So I think it is called biomimic design, right? For example, I think the Japanese Shinkansen trains, they use the Kingfisher
Right.
beak to cut out the sonic boom problem.
Right, exactly. Right, they observe. So the observation is a very important skill for designers. So we generally take and we look at nature being one of the best examples. And so as an exercise, so we will not be saying that this has to be a particular thing which you need to look at, but general observation. And when observation also happens to be how you even use a product also becomes a part of observation. So that is an important skill. What a designer has to possess. And so these are the few of the like assignments which we give and we make them do and develop. This is from packaging. So again, the brief will be there. Like this all happens in a studio format. So there will be a brief will be given. Then every student will choose a brief. From there, they will be developing their own. This is for a competition. This has been sent for a Taiwan design competition, one of the entries from our end college. Some of them are literally, of course, conceptual. Yeah, I think that brings to the end of my presentation. And so if anybody's interested, you can maybe, take a phone, and this is to our Insta page and see what all works other than what I've shown. You can see it. And I hope I did not bore anyone. I try to make it as small as possible.
Thanks a lot, Chandraprasad.
Not a problem at all.
That was a very interesting presentation in a short time frame. I think a couple of things I've noticed that we've noted down all the 10 points that you've mentioned, 10 reasons, sure. Right? A couple of things that were interesting to me. One was the exchange program, right?
Right.
I remember earlier when we were speaking, you mentioned about the credit transfer.
Right.
That can be used, say, if someone's transferring from India and they want to do their masters in the States, right? So there is some credit transfers as possible. So could you please elaborate on that?
Right, sure. So one our curriculum from the initial days itself, it has been, we have taken the structure of NASAD. NASAD is a North American Association of School of Arts and Design. So that is the structure which we have followed, basically. And from this new year onwards, basically 22-23, and with NEP policy also coming in place, right now there have been slight changes where we have majors and minors program. So BDS program right now is about 180 credits. So how it helps is actually, even for students for going higher studies, actually it becomes easier, or even for semester exchange, we need to, so there is a certain number of credits the student has to satisfy to be called a graduate, actually. And with this system, it becomes easy for a student to go for higher education in terms of credit exchange. And how the credit works is, in our system also, there are studio credits for studio subjects. There is a studio credit, And there are the other subjects where we have 4 classifications. It can sound a little complicated. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. So there are 4 classifications is how our curriculum is done. We have studio courses, art, design, history, then general education and free electives. So these are the 4 major criteria under which the curriculum is distributed. Out of which the studio courses has the major percentage, around 54% of courses comes under studio. Then art, design, history takes around 10%. I think general education comes around 25 and free electives is around 12.5. That is how the general category. So the studio courses, 1 credit is equals to around 45 hours. And that is also distributed as in the initial 2 years, in the 45 is distributed like 30 hours of engagement and 15 hours of self-learning or self-study. Basically, that is how we distribute it. And in this 3rd and 4th year, because by that time a student is expected to understand how the work goes on, it is reversed, where a studio 15 hours of engagement will happen and 30 hours of studies will be self-learning. But for the other subjects, 1 credit will be like 15 hours of engagement and 15 hours of self-study. So that is the basic structure, how that works. I know it can be a little complex, the system could be, but it's, yeah.
All right, but that's great. I mean, there's the option of a credit transfer, and there is also options of
minors as well. So like I said, then from new minors is also there.
Right. Right. Thanks. That's great. There's a question from Sai Saket who's asking, is that
I'll stop the share. I'm sorry. I should I'll stop the share, the screen share.
Yeah, you can stop the screen share.
So I think I can then see at least.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So Sai Saket is asking if in your communication design program, is there a specialization in film and video design?
Film, and actually we have but not under the design school. So we have a film and media as a separate school altogether. School of Film and Media we have under the university, but that doesn't come under the design. We have a separate school actually. So in our visual communication, the things which we cover are
exponential rise in population causes strain on natural resources.
Yeah. So what we cover is graphic. Then there is a module of user interface. And is experience and a little bit of an animation, but not from the film perspective.
All right. So Saket, I hope you've got your answer. Right. And so does that offer a BDes degree, or is that some other degree from that school?
So it is a BA degree actually. It's a 3-year program. The film school has a 3-year program basically.
All right.
I think it's a BA degree. It comes in a Bachelor of Arts.
Okay. Yeah. So those of you who would like to ask more questions, you can feel free to ask your questions. The other aspect I was trying to look at is the consultancy projects that you'll get, right? So now in a consultancy project, really the school is reaching out to industry, or the industry reaches out to the school and says, I have this in mind and can you guys work on this, right? As a team.
Right.
So how often do you get these projects, and how complex are these projects to get? And how many of your students actually work on these?
So the number of students is determined by the kind of project basically, right? It will be more resource intensive, so that will need more. Maybe, for example, the Google project, it required more students basically. It's a little open-ended because you have to do the entire project. You have to start from the research and it comes. So that is how it goes through. And how often, I would say almost at least there's one project a year is what actually happens. And we're trying to expand and see more actually how much we can. Because we don't want to be also in a situation where we agree for more and we couldn't deliver, right? So as of now, we generally do one major project, depending again. Otherwise, if it's a smaller kind of a project, we can manage 2, but mostly one time is what we do.
Yeah, I guess the challenge there is to work in industry. With industry, you need to deliver something professional, so you can't compromise.
Definitely. Yes, and creativity is not something can just happen right with a. I mean, I wish maybe, but and certainly these are on like these process takes time basically. Some the research itself can go at good sound research when we, and that also depends, right? Depends upon the brief, how much of a clarity the client has. That will help us actually one. So whenever they approach, if they have a certain set of thing, even with a good clarity, we would easily take a 3 months even for the research itself, a strong research to come up with as a minimum.
All
Then
right.
the rest of the process, yeah.
All right. Question from Surana, who's asking,
Right.
transportation on automotive design looks great here, but could you please give a little detail about product design?
Okay. Let me see how to put it. Like, I'll give you a basic structure. Like I said, we have a 4 years. Foundation is the same for all the disciplines. And the structure of study is same for, again, be it product or automotive, where there is a studio project will happen. Only the subjects will vary, basically. And the tools, maybe, so for example, a digital modeling, a 3D software, what we use for transportation will not be the same for product. So those changes will be there, but the structure can remain the same. Definitely, almost every semester, you will have a studio, and there are certain set of skills you will require for that particular studio in that particular point of time. And that is how the whole structure is being made. I don't know whether I really answer that question or that what Daksh was looking for. Or if you want to elaborate, you can, I mean, you can specify what exactly are you also looking for, maybe.
Yeah, Daksh, you could maybe unmute yourself and ask your question, or if you require more clarity. Yeah. In the meantime, you mentioned that the student-faculty ratio is 1:10.
Right.
So so for example, so what I understand that, let's say in product design you have, transportation design, you have like 30 students. Is that
Right.
the maximum number of students? So you'll have
Yes.
accordingly
Yes.
the number of faculty. Now,
Right.
how many batches would you have of each of these?
So only one batch generally. We just take 30. We stick to 30 for each. That's all. That's the number we stick to for each disciplines.
All right. So what you're saying is, for each of the disciplines, there's just 30 students and that's it. No more.
No more. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, right, then it doesn't make, will not be doing justice. We know how much we can handle also at that point, and design require that kind of an individual attention. So anything more, then yeah, like I said, right, everybody has a different skill set. So unless you are able to address it, we'll not be able to identify for the student themselves also, like what am I good at actually. So even if you take, to give you an example, right, like there are many aspects, actually, many skills that can make you, if you take, for example, a transportation design. Within transportations, not all of them will be good at being a creative design part where you sketch and render. Some of them find I'm good at being a modeler, maybe a physical modeler. That's where my skill is at. So, and there is a requirement for that, right? As a clay modeling. Clay modeling is a very important area of it. Or some of them feel like I'm good as a visualization or digital modeler. So, and these are all areas where there are opportunities, and there's a huge requirement as well. So this cannot be identified unless we know, actually, we are given that individual attention and understood like who are the students and what are their skills. So for that very reason, we always make sure that this is where we keep a cap on the numbers. And even the PG digital modeling, we don't take it more than 15.
Okay, interesting. So that means you'll have 4 specializations, right?
Right.
Yeah. So 4 into 30, 120. That's it. That's
120. BDES program is just 120. Yes.
All right.
And
all right.
yeah.
Cool. Manish Kalrekar has a question, who's asking, where have your students from product design been placed? Do you have a placement cell?
Yes, we do have a placement cell. And if it's fine, I can share the list of all the firms actually, rather than naming a few. And
maybe I think you had shared your slide. Maybe do you
slide also.
Do you want to show that slide deck again?
Yes.
That particular slide.
Definitely. Right. So out of these, for example, games to win, then Titan, Symbol Energy, both automotive. It has like automotive, graphic, and product. That has been an interesting combination which has gone into Symbol Energy. Then Studio 34, Tata Elxsi. So out of this list, these are the at least an Adient as well, an Adient. These are the places for product design work in there. Advantage, they have done internships in Advantage. Yeah, and there are a few more. Like I said, if it's if somebody's really interested, I can take a list from the placement cell. They will be more than happy to share it as well.
All right, that's great. That's great. Now, a few questions on the admission process. All right.
Right.
Admission process, fee structure, and scholarship criteria. If you can.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. I think the admission process is we have our own exam. Basically, there is an online. First round is online, and after the selection, so getting selected, the first round, we'll call them for a personal interview round, and again, there will be like a few of studio test also, which happens in the second round. Portfolio review and studio test and an interview, which will happen in the second round. So only 2 rounds generally. I think the application is also open from November 15th. It's been open. And what was the next question apart from that?
The fee structure.
Fee structure, right. For transportation design, it is 5 lakh per annum. And for the rest of the disciplines, it is 3.5 per annum.
Okay. Okay. And do you all require a portfolio at the time of the interview?
Definitely. So portfolio review is one of the criteria we have in the second round. It's in the second round. First round, you can apply, you can go for the test, basically online test. So after the selection is where you will be called for the second round. And that point of time, portfolio review is one of the criteria we have.
All right. So the test, students can take it at any time of their choice, or is it on a specific date?
It is there on a specific date. Actually, even I have to check. I don't know. It was on 14th of Jan. That's the first time.
All right.
So after the first cycle, we will have one more cycle later, basically.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Around April, May, we'll have a second cycle, which we generate once.
All right. All right. Right. So do you all have a hostel? And
right, we do have a hostel facility but those details, I think the admission team would be the right people to discuss,
sure.
Talk about the hostel fee. And I think there are what I am aware is there are different types of rooms available, actually sharing and individual, depending upon the requirement.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the other aspect, okay, let's say a student joins in, approximately how much do they need to spend on materials, right? Other than the tuition fee, other than maybe living in the hostel, just the materials thing.
So initial 1 or 2 years, I mean, one machine is always required, basically a good laptop where we say with a good graphic card, so that you can work also. Even in the later hours, you can use definitely the lab also as such. The college has digital labs, which is also open. But I think as a personal, I would say one tablet, basically graphic tablet, and a good machine. That's more like it. Stationery, it depends again, that I can't put a cap on it, depending upon how much it's dependent upon the individual, how much you want to do it and how much is required. So that can be on individual basis. Yes.
All right. Also, Sri Lasya is asking about the scholarship criteria.
Right. So the thing is, we'll be announcing soon is about a design competition which we conduct, actually, which we'll announce. So in the design competition, whoever comes in the first 3 will be given a scholarship. In the first year, you will get, actually, for the first prize is a 30% from your fee. Apart from that, there are few other criteria, which is like a government recognized criteria, where if anybody falls into that kind of a category, like one is armed services, right? Someone's parents are from armed services, then single parent. There are few criteria which falls, where also somebody can apply for it. A student can apply. apart from that, a student feel that I am quite good at it, you can also apply. For that, you will need to submit a portfolio. You will have to go through the round. There will be a review session, which will be done by a scholarship committee. And you'll be called for, of course, as a part of the interview, you will the assessing will be done in terms of your skills. Depending upon that, if they will be offering, the review committee will then decide the percentage, depending upon the work, what kind of percentage will be offered as a scholarship. So once a scholarship is offered in the first year, there is a certain criteria a student has to satisfy or to be eligible in the next year to continue. Like, for example, criteria will be for the first year is like a student need to have a 70% of attendance and maybe a 7 CGPA. Then that same scholarship will continue. Maybe some of the student might even outperform that. Actually, they might be doing maybe like an 8 CGPA and the attendance is even more, maybe or 80 or something. Then as a head, actually, so we get the list, then we recommend actually, okay, the student has performed quite well. Maybe need to consider them for the scholarship. So they might even get a bigger percentage as well. And that will continue. So the second year, again, your eligibility will be like 75% attendance and maybe a 7.5 CGPA. So that will go higher and higher as you move higher, basically.
All right. Right. I think we have come to the end of the questions. If there's anyone who has a last question you would like to ask, please feel free to do so right now. Otherwise, we will end the session.
Chandra Prasad, hi.
Yes.
Where did you said you worked at Aston Martin? And was that graduation in India and product design somewhere else, or how was that?
No, it was for my graduation project, and it was in Italy.
Okay, and your graduation was in?
Transportation design has been my major.
Out of India or in India?
Out of India.
Okay, if you don't mind, can you share the university where you did?
Right, IED is the name of the place, the university.
Oh, okay, good to know that.
No.
Yeah, so IED is one of the most prestigious schools globally for transportation design, and it's located in Italy. Do they have other campuses?
They do.
Yeah.
So the transportation design program is their major in their Turin campus.
Yeah.
They have a campus in Milan, Rome, then in other countries also. They have
Spain
in Barcelona,
also, I think.
Spain, Barcelona also. They have a strong industrial design program there as well.
Yes.
Right. And even in, I think, Brazil, also Sao Paulo, also they have. And Venice, recently, I think a few years ago, they have started one campus as well.
All right. Okay. Any other last questions, or can we wrap up? Yeah. I guess we can wrap up. Right.
Sure.
So Chandra Prasad, thank you so much. It's been very interesting to have this conversation, and looking forward. I think as soon as our team receives the details, we've received some details from his school today.
Right.
We will upload that in DQ Edge, and we'll share those messages with our students maybe in the next couple of days. Okay.
Right. At any point also, like anybody, definitely you can send in your queries to you. I think Dion, right? Actually, we can share it at any point. We are always more than happy. And whoever wants to come
from our team will, whatever questions anyone has, they can redirect it to Swati, and Swati will reach out to school.
Sure. Right. And at any point, anyone is coming across to or visiting Pune, feel free. That is also always open.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, Chandra Prasad.
No problem.
Great conversation. Right.
Yeah.
Thanks.